This past Sunday, I said something kind of controversial, in which I said, I really don't like Chick-fil-A as much as most people do. And I had to kind of walk that back a little bit after service and basically say, and come to the conclusion that I just don't think it lives up to the hype. Now, that was my confession to you then, and this is my confession to you now. And if you're wondering, what does this have to do with anything, go back and watch that video on our website and on YouTube from this past Sunday, and you'll see more of what today we're going to talk about. So today, my confession to you is this. I really hate it when people spoil movies for me. I really hate it when people spoil books or TV shows or whatever it is, when they spoil it for me. Now, that might not be that controversial, but it's something that I need to confess to you guys that it really grinds my gears. Now, something that almost infuriates me equally as such is when I'm watching a movie or a TV show with someone who's already seen it. Maybe it's their favorite movie, maybe it's their favorite TV show, whatever it is, and there's a scene coming up and they just look at you, they look at the screen and they say, watch this, watch this, watch this. And I have to take a step back and realize they're excited. But what that does to me is it takes me out of the scene. They're preempting me. They're preparing me for something that's going to happen. And it takes me out of the scene. Maybe it's a surprising scene that I'm now prepared for. Whatever it is. Now, you might be looking at me and saying, Pastor Matt, I think you need some counseling because that's really not that big of a deal. I fully admit that. That may not be that big of a deal. But it's just one of my hang-ups. It's unsolicited advice. And that's what we're going to talk about today for the cutting room floor. Unsolicited advice. And we're going to find it in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. This past Sunday we discussed 7, 1 through 5, but today we're going to discuss verse 6. And it says this. Do not give to dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Now, on first reading, that seems pretty harsh and also pretty antithetical to the gospel message that we're supposed to share with everybody. Because if you read it and you don't fully understand what this is saying, it kind of sounds like Jesus is saying, don't share the gospel message because people are just going to rip you to shreds for it. And kinda that's what he's saying, but hear me out. What he's saying is that there will be people in your life when it comes to the gospel message, you sharing the gospel message that you have in your heart with them that aren't ready to hear it. They may be in a place in their life, they may be surrounded by people and in a place in their lives that they are just not ready to hear the life-saving message of Jesus Christ. And you might ask yourself, then what do I do? And the answer is this. Build a deep, incredible relationship with these people. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your friends. Maybe it's your coworkers who you just want to see come to know Christ. And the last thing that is going to work is to speak Bible verses at them, is to push your ideals on them without trying to build a relationship with them first. Now, this might seem like common sense, and because you and I wouldn't take advice from someone, especially life-changing advice from someone who we didn't know personally and had credibility in our own heart. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That is life-changing advice.